Welcome back to Gene and Roger Talk Movies. No,
Hey.
no guest this week, Gene.
Yeah,
so
it's good. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
it's just sometimes better. Just
It's
us
just
two.
the good old boys,
The good old boys. Just
Gene and
watching
Roger.
horror movies, trying to figure it out.
But hey, we're talking about a movie that is as about under the radar as you can possibly get. There's not even a Wikipedia page for this movie.
Crazy.
Home Education, 2023, currently available on Prime. I am going to give you a spoiler warning because you know how we operate here, where we freely talk about the movie. And be aware, spoilers. Gene,
Okay.
where are you at with Home Education?
Yeah, this is a Roger idea. So, home education. How did you even know about this movie?
Gene, you and I are constantly battling, trying to figure out what the hell to do week to week. And I just saw this thing sitting on Prime, and I'm like, okay, maybe this will work for Gene. I don't know. How
And
about
then
it?
you watched it and you suggested it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, this movie. I like this movie. It's not bad. You know, it's just about a. It happens when you get just a little bit too isolated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a foreign film, but yeah, it works well. There's a lot of suspense. You know, there's definitely a lot of this creepiness factor. So, I mean, the movie progresses kind of slowly, but has a great plot structure. The tension definitely builds in the movie. You know, reaches a climax, and yeah, the movie happens. It works. You know, there's a woman, a young woman. She's a teen. She's homeschooled by a somewhat crazy mom. Yeah, and so I've read lots of movies about young teens being raised by crazy moms.
Well,
Carrie
and
comes to mind.
Probably
of
a
course.
dad, too, though.
The dad too. Yes, definitely. Yeah, probably the dad is the genesis. Actually, they allude to this, but the dad he dies, and so they have the ideas that if you blow this whistle, and if you think positive thoughts and you have faith, then the dead person can be resurrected. Yeah, so they do. The dad dies, and so they do whatever they can to resurrect this body again by having lots of faith and blowing this whistle because they feel like his spirit is out there in the woods. It's like set in like a Scandinavian country, it seems.
The movie was filmed in Italy, so but they don't.
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
time they allude to that is she mentions to the boy, "Oh, your English is good for being an Italian or something."
Right.
Like that.
Like maybe northern Italy or something.
Yeah.
It's really forested. Yeah, it's mountainous as well. So, but yeah, they have faith, and there's a lot of talk about the mom is railing against the daughters that she doesn't have enough faith. You know, you're distracted. There's this boy that comes onto their property, and it's just like she rails and gives her strong advice to stay away from this boy. All the boys want is to take your clothes off, you know. And so she actually gives him a word. She gives the daughter a word that she needs to say to make him flee. But she says it, of course, and it doesn't work. And yeah, and so one thing after another, and so people die. 2 people end up dying, and so, and was anybody ever resurrected? No. At the very end, there's a little jump scare. It could be anything. The rigor mortis could be anything. I don't think there's anything happening there.
Yeah, I really like this movie, Gene. And Gene is right. It is a slow burn, I guess, is an appropriate
the phrase.
way to put it.
Yeah.
It would be interesting if director Scott Eggleston was here with us today because this is right in his wheelhouse as far as the low budget nature. There's only 3 people in this movie, 4 if you count the corpse of the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the credits, there's a scene there in the grocery store.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a couple small characters
just
there.
right at the beginning for 20 seconds. And
Yeah.
then it's just
Otherwise than that, it's 3 characters.
yeah, and then just the isolated location. Were you getting any Robert Eggers' The Witch vibes with that forested area and the isolation there?
Oh yeah, it's just like it's a forced isolation in a way because they have such extreme beliefs, but such extreme beliefs cannot exist in a public sphere. You need to be out by yourself to be on your little crazy farm. So
That dad was definitely isolating this cult family, I
Right,
guess. And of
right.
course, the girl, one, the acting in this is all just above board.
Right.
Without the quality of the acting here, Julia Ormond plays the mother. I
Like
don't,
an old Julia Ormond.
yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
the name of the girl, the little girl.
I looked her up, but she was great.
Yeah,
She's great.
and then the boy, they're all really good because if you had lesser actors, there's no way they could pull this concept off. But I love the isolation aspect. I love the fact that it's called home education because, of course, this kid is homeschooled. The mother believes that her daughter is disturbed and not safe to be out in the normal realm of
Right.
society, which is
But-
probably not true. It's all
No, she's
around
just fine.
all around the cult stuff. And I love the little creepy bone whistle that she
Yeah,
uses.
yeah, that's fun.
It gives a very unsettling noise.
Almost like a scream.
Right. And she's
Right.
basically, the belief is that out in the woods, she can guide father's soul or whatever back to his body. And there's a few scenes that kind of reminded me of the first season of Stranger Things when you see the upside down world.
Yeah, they do a little bit of that.
Yeah, and just kind of there's a weird overlying concept there where the soul or the body is being taken, decaying by this force, and it's crying out in pain, asking to not go through that. They
Yeah,
did that with the
yeah.
dog and the deer, and then of course the dad. And so I really like it. I really like the interplay. But is this a, bare knuckle thriller that's just going to freak you out left, right, and next? No, it's more on the disturbing side and more on the witch side where there's,
Right.
it's really deliberate in how it's playing out. This movie is an hour and 41 minutes long. Normally I start getting antsy with movies that go over 82 to 90 minutes.
It's just 10 minutes over, Roger.
I'm giving this
You could
one a
be
pass.
fine.
Well, I'm giving, because usually what I look for is what could be cut, right? Because too many times, and we talked about this, I think, with Weapons last week, what could be cut to
There was
tighten
a
the film
lot
up?
of stuff they can cut from Weapons.
This one, because I've seen it twice, I just watched it again last night, and I'm like, there's really nothing to cut because of the kind of the delicate nature of how this director, who I will definitely watch her next movie, should she do a horror movie, it's this really delicate structure that flows along, and things really ramp up at the end in ways that I wasn't expecting to have happen.
Yeah.
Right. And then the last scene that Gene talks about, I don't really know what's happening there. Was this a legitimate thing going on? And it's just really required everyone else to be gone for it to work, or has, what's happening? And so I really liked that last little second there. And I love the fact that it immediately faded to black to the credits.
Yep.
Yep. But I really enjoy this movie. And I also liked I don't remember the dog's name, but there's a dog. They had a dog apparently at some point. You never see the dog because the dog is dead.
Dog.
But they have decided that the dog has been reincarnated into this rat that the girl keeps in a cage. And I just loved that.
Yeah. Well, you kind of see the dog a little bit, like under the stairs. You see his eyes.
Right.
So, yeah. This whole idea of a little bit of like bringing animals and people back from the dead. Yeah.
And so it's really playing with the viewer a little bit too, because that rat goes into his little rat house, but then you see a dog face looking back out, and it's whimpering and stuff.
Right.
But then the mom is finally like, look, everything we've been told was all lies. Your father was a crazy person and I trusted him and it was all lies. And so you have all this weird stuff going on.
Yeah, because they're trying their best, and everyone's just trying their best. And nothing's happening. The body, they just can't keep it from decaying. It just starts decaying. Yeah, at that one point there, the mom gets a little syringe and she feeds the body. But of course that's not going to work. There's a scene where the body starts gassing out, and the
she's
stomach
got her
becomes
little makeup, and she's covering
covering the decayed part. The stomach becomes super distended, as it would. Yeah, and so
flies show up.
Of course, they're You could smell that a million miles away, and so, yeah, so they can't stop that process. There's no refrigeration. It's just the body's just right there in their upstairs bedroom. So,
Well, and I love too how they set up earlier in the film a few scenes of the young girl actually being homeschooled by the mother, where the girl then learns about how to preserve things and stuff like that. So then I just love the scene where she decides to vacuum pack her father's corpse.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. It's like her knowledge of things seems to be somewhat high. But then her math instruction was like, what? Because her math instruction involves just like counting.
Right.
She's like on 4,084 or for 4,089, I think.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so then it's just counting and writing. And so, but yeah, it's really strange.
But I love that though, because of course it just reinforces the complete family isolation here, where
It does.
they have gone to probably the furthest point you can on that road. They do a whole Stanley Kubrick The Shining sequence right at the beginning of the long winding driving, really setting the scene that they are way out in the middle of nowhere. The only thing backing up to their house is this massive, expansive forest.
Yeah.
And of course, by the way, we've also been homeschooling our kid who's not been integrated with society at all. And we've purposely removed ourselves from society because of our twisted, weird beliefs.
Although they were close enough to have a neighbor, and the neighbor biked over, and the What's Two originally goes over there because I guess there was some kind of arrangement with the dad. And so the neighbor knocks on the door, knock, knock, knock. The girl answers, and the neighbor asks, the neighbor boy, young man, a teen man, asks, where's your dad? Where's your dad? Like that, because I guess there was some kind of arrangement. And they kept saying that the dad is not feeling well.
Right.
Well, of course he's not feeling well because he's dead.
But the arrangement really was because at the beginning he comes out of that butcher shop and the dad worked there.
Oh yeah, he was a butcher.
Yeah,
that's right.
And so they were co-workers, and it's just interesting how. Yeah, such a small little town, how long can you keep this ruse up? But they keep thinking that, oh no, Dad will be back for lunch. He loves lunch, which was a great line. And they set up the lunch table and they've got a plate for him and welcome back or whatever. And he doesn't, of course, show up.
No, he never shows up. Yeah. I mean, the teen boy comes back and he ends up meeting the girl in the forest, while she's doing her stuff. And of course, is curious. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, I was surprised how much I liked this movie, I guess is the way to put it. Sometimes I just have to say Roger's suggestions are just sometimes a little wacky. They're always solid.
No. Like, what's that movie we saw just recently? It's just
Puppet Master, which you
loved.
There's
so much.
The Mutations.
House of a Thousand Corpses, Texas Chainsaw
Corpses.
Massacre Part 2.
You loved Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
Some movies that are just so bad. But this movie, Island of Dr. Moreau, yeah. So,
well, but I also recommended like Audition, which you absolutely
loved. Audition is one of the better horror movies that we've seen.
But we'll get you there, Gene.
I think for horror... Roger, you have a very encompassing view of horror. If it has the horror genre label somewhere on the CD or the description online, you're watching it.
Uh-huh. And that's how I find gems like Home Education.
Yeah, so, excuse me. But go ahead and watch Home Education. It's really good.
Yeah.
It makes it's good horror because it is disturbing. I think a lot of movies that call themselves horror lack that disturbing element. Then, because I think this is a good contrast because we reviewed Weapons last week, and Weapons on no level is disturbing. There's one scene that is just kind of I don't really like that. But then it's so fleeting, and the rest of it's just makeup and people running around being crazy and plot tricks, but on no level is it disturbing. But this movie is disturbing, like deep down inside of you. And so I think that's what really good horror does. And this movie makes it happen.
Yeah, for sure. Highly recommend it. Again, completely under the radar,
Yeah.
for sure. It actually started as a short film from this director back in like 2017. She expanded it to feature length, and I'm glad she did because
Yep.
she made right choices here. The acting, again, carries the entire film.
Yep.
If you had lesser actors, this movie isn't working. And the disturbing nature of it and the casual nature that both the mom and the daughter have around this corpse because they believe he's going to come back.
They believe,
is
yeah.
Also disturbing. So definitely check it out. It's
Exactly.
on Prime for free if you've got Prime, but it's definitely worth your time.
Yep, for sure.
Unfortunately, Gene and I have not.
We have no plan
met
for next week.
Once again, about what we're doing next week. Do you have any?
Although I
ideas?
did go to the theater and I saw Primal Weapons because I had to just see it.
Oh, is that the dinosaur thing?
Yeah. A group of Vietnam soldiers. It's in Vietnam. The war's going on. They go to this isolated valley. Of course, it's an isolated valley in Laos. And what do they find there? Dinosaurs. But it's not, the PG Spielberg dinosaurs where you have to save the children. No, stuff happens. High body count, blood all over the place. Although I will say, I don't know if we're going to review this, but they could have upped the gore content a lot more in this movie.
Well, that's unfortunate then.
Yeah, they should have upped the
Because
content.
one of these days we will get a rampaging dinosaur movie where there is significant graphic violence.
Yeah, and this movie kind of wants to do that, but somehow it pulls back, and I don't know why.
Well, I wonder if there's a unrated director's cut that'll be released at some point where all that stuff is in there.
Yeah, somehow, again, a meddling studio got in there and said, no, you can't have that.
We will not be doing that next week because
No.
there is no scenario I'm going to run out to the theaters to see that. But this is my favorite part of the show because we can just end it by saying we have no idea what we're doing next week, but something will happen.
Yes.
Yes. So thanks for tuning in. Check out Home Education,
Home
if you
Education.
can. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.